Welcome to week 2. This first video is going to help you talk about organization. So last week we talked a lot about ethos, which is one of the global issues of writing, and we also talked a lot about free writing, which is the first step in the process of writing. So those are two different concepts that I really want you guys to have down rock solid over the course of this class. I want you guys to be very capable and confident in the process of writing and the global issues of writing. That being said, we're taking a step forward and we're not just talking about ethos anymore, but we're also going to talk about organization. So today, what we're going to talk about is the structures of essays. Hopefully by this point you read that really good, well, I say really good because I wrote it, handout on theses. A thesis, as you should remember, has a what exactly you're exploring, a how what you're exploring matters to a reader, why they should take the time to actually read what you wrote, and lastly, you should try to use the most specific language possible. In all the sentences in your essay, the one that has to be a perfectly cut diamond, the one that is the shining star that will lead both you and your reader through all the other ideas that you could be having and exploring, is your thesis. That's the North Star you want to follow, so make sure that it's perfectly written and shines like a star. Question is, though, where does a thesis go in an essay? And that's what we're going to talk about today in organization. I hope you guys can read that. It seems like you kind of can. Organization. Where does the thesis go? I'm sure some of you guys have heard different things from different teachers, either at high school or other community colleges or universities you've attended. Real quick, I'm going to draw an essay on the board for you. Triangle, circle, triangle. That's pretty much how I draw essays. This is your introduction, this is your conclusion, this is your body. In Western academic tradition, you need those three ingredients to actually be having an essay. Intro, body, conclusion. Now, of course, the body can be as many paragraphs as you see fit, 2, 3, 4, 5, 18, 22, as many paragraphs as you need to tell your story. Well, to get your point across, not tell your story. We're writing essays, we're not writing novels. The introduction and the conclusion, they're a different shape than the body paragraphs. They're like goalies or pitchers. They have different jobs. They are not like the everyday utility position players. The intro, all it has to do is fade in, and all the conclusion has to do is fade out. I said this on that last hand up. It's just curtain up, do the whole presentation, curtain down. That's all you need to do in the intro and the conclusion. But there's other things you want to add just to prepare your audience for what you're going to talk about. Sorry, my computer keeps blacking out and I have to wake it up. Somewhere in the introduction, you want to prepare your reader for the thesis. Now, as I said, and I'm grabbing another colored marker, there's implicit theses. So not every essay even has a thesis somewhere. But in this class, we're still learning the fundamentals. We're beginning college writers. Do me the favor, and please put your thesis right there. Please put your thesis as the last sentence of your introduction. If you put your thesis as the last sentence of the introduction, it'll help me grade your essays better. Because let's say you hand in a 4-page essay, and you're exploring a thought. Well, I want to help you use rhetorical strategies, use the best organization and focus to explore that thought. If the last sentence of your introduction is, turtles are really awesome animals, then I'm going to be convinced that this student is trying to tell me in 4 to 5 pages that turtles are awesome animals. And then if you have paragraphs on how Taco Bell makes you obese and how their marketing is deceitful, I'm going to get really confused. So help me help you. Please put your thesis as the last sentence of the introduction, because that's what I'm going to consider you're trying to argue over the course of your essay. This isn't the right place to put a thesis. It's not the only place to put a thesis, but for the course of our class, it'll help me help you. Cool? Somewhere else in the introduction, you need to address the text. I talk about this on the 10 Commandments of Strong Essay Writing. Whenever you're responding to a text, whether it's Shakespeare's Hamlet or J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter, you need to say the novel Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. And you need to do that somewhere in the intro, somewhere before the thesis. I always say A of T, address of texts. It's like at the beginning of a movie, as it's, zooming out, you see, Steven Seagal, and then boom, on deadly ground. You've got to roll the credits. Address the text is pretty much rolling the credits. Those are the only real formalities I expect you to do as it pertains to the structures of essays. What I really want to talk about now is the body. How do you go about organizing your major ideas? Okay, I erased the board. As a teacher, I've been teaching for about almost 7 years now. There's different types of essays I see. I'm going to draw those on the board for you. The first type of essay I see looks like this. Squiggly mess. The second type of essay I see looks like this. And the third type of essay I see looks like this. We have the kind of squiggle mess, spiral, and the little kind of Charlie Brown Christmas tree. What I call these are the grasshopper, the dead horse, and the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. The problem with the grasshopper is a writer sits down, 3 in the morning, their essays due at 9 a.m., they've never idea generated, they didn't trust and respect the process of writing, so they sit down and they just go, I really like turtles, turtles are cool animals, did I mention it's almost Christmas, I hope I get a pet turtle for Christmas, ooh, maybe I also get some turtle earrings and a turtle sweater so I can really be the biggest turtle fan in the world, maybe I'm having flashbacks to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, by the way, when I was a kid I used to go sledding a lot. What a writer does is, because they haven't idea generated, they're not focused, and their ideas bounce all over the map. Their essay is a mess. It is unfocused. And focus is one of the most important global issues of writing. Second type of essay is the dead horse. Same thing. It's a lack of planning. It's a lack of trusting the process. They're not very focused. You sit down at 3 o'clock in the morning to write your paper and you go, I like turtles. Did I mention I'm a big fan of turtles? However, not only am I a fan of turtles, but I think they're keen. Turtles are kind of cute. They live a long time. I like turtles. Turtles, 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 turtles. I like turtles. Do you like turtles? Have I filled 3 pages yet? How long did the teacher want this assignment? How many of you guys have written that essay? I mean, I did when I was in community college. How many of you guys have written that essay? Both the grasshopper and the dead horse come if you haven't idea generated. If you haven't trusted the process of writing, and you sit down and you just try to bust something out, and you pretty much get stuck with poopy essays. Charlie Brown Christmas Tree is a little different. It's the 5-paragraph essay. Let's be honest. It's all about structure. Turtles are green. Hold on, my marker is erasing my other marker. Turtles are green. Turtles are hard. Turtles have soft bellies. Those are my 3 supports in my thesis. Turtles are green. They are very green, and I like turtles that are green. Turtles are soft. They have soft little bellies, and you can touch them with your fingers. Turtles have hard shells. You cannot step on them. If you do, you'll hurt your foot. Turtles are hard, soft, and green. Thank you very much for listening to my essay. I'm a robot, and I just wrote a robot essay. The problem with the Charlie Brown Christmas Tree is, sure, it has a thesis, a strong spine, and sure, it keeps its green, soft, and hard kind of ideas controlled, but the emphasis is on the organization and not on the ideas. So it's kind of like you have a cookie cutter and you just fill it with dough. It's very boring. It's very kind of lacks creativity and verve. It doesn't really explore an idea. It just kind of fills out an idea. And that's not good essay writing. So you don't want to focus too much on organization at the expense of your ideas, and you don't want to just sit down and try to generate ideas at the last second, because you're going to write these 3 very uncool essays. Thesis. The key to strong essay organization is thesis. This is tricky because focus determines organization. If I said the problem with the Charlie Brown Christmas tree is that your organization controls your focus, well, the exact opposite is when your focus controls your organization. I want all of you guys to build your essays from the inside out, okay? This is your thesis, okay? This is your little bowl of energy. It's the sun in your solar system. Something about turtles. And then you have this other idea that revolves around your thesis and supports it. And then you have another idea that revolves around your thesis and supports it. And you have another idea that revolves around your thesis and supports it. And then around this idea, you have little ideas that support it. And around this idea, you have little ideas that support that and support that. Eventually, you have a solar system. The essays I want you guys to write are solar system essays. I want your thesis to have such powerful gravity that it pulls all these other ideas to it. And these big ideas work for the thesis, and these littler ideas work for these ideas. Solar systems are mathematically beautiful things. I mean, except for maybe, Neptune, that has an elliptical orbit, and sometimes it's farther out there than Uranus, and sometimes it's closer. Or Pluto and Neptune, I'm sorry. They're beautiful, mathematic, organized things. But they're incredible because they seem to be moving and freewheeling. That's what I want your essays to be. They have so much kind of organic energy to them as you explore their ideas, but everything is perfectly controlled in a wonderful, organized pattern. If you start from the inside out and you let your focus determine your organization, you too will be writing solar system essays. That's what I want us all working towards. Start with a thesis, inside out, all right? Solar systems.